need a nickname that makes people light up. T-Bone.
All right, I'm back. Took a little break. Took a little hiatus. Just busy. Nothing bad. Nothing. No news is good news. I say that a lot. I've become one of those guys. I think I say a lot of the same stuff. Well, I know I say a lot of the same stuff over and over, but that's definitely in my jargon. No news is good news. That's kind of a go-to. Living the dream. I don't say living the dream. I'll ask people if they're living the dream. It's office talk. It's real. Doesn't. Yeah. What is it? It's a long weekend. I look a little scruffy. I'm trying to grow my beard up. I know it's mundane, but I've got. I don't know. I looked at some pictures and it was like my beard is slowly coming down. It's hard. It's hard trimming a beard. There's not a lot. Well, there probably is a lot of instructions on how to do it, but I haven't done a tutorial on how to trim a beard. You just kind of figure it out. But it's gotten really low. Whatever. Yeah. So I've got, that's my beard update in case you want to log that on the books. Dive right in. This one is Parasoloya Studio. This made me laugh. That is a sibling laugh. That's definitely a sibling laugh. So, what stood out in the comments? I always go into the comments, and the comments were saying, "Oh, like she's laughing in French, or she's laughing in what did she say? That was staged. She even laughed in a different language." That's true. It's like I heard it too, and then obviously a bunch of other people. But it's like laughs are different in different languages. So I don't know. I don't know if that's French or Romanian or Ukrainian. I don't know what language that is. I mean, that's like Cyrillic, right? Isn't that Russian or? I don't know, but that's what jumped out was the laughing in a different language, and that you don't hear your own accent, or like in your head, in my head, it's like we think we don't have an accent, and to me it's just you talk normal, like it's only when someone else is from somewhere else, and then you hear an accent, like you hear if someone else is British, it's like, oh, they have a British accent, but to them that's just how everyone talks. Which, if someone's like, "Oh, it's a real flash phone you've got there. It's nice boots," or like we would hear Liz speaking with a thick British accent. But if we said, "Oh, those are killer boots," I like your boots. They would hear it as like a thick, "Oh, he's got killer boots." So like they would think that they would know that we're speaking in a different accent. We're all speaking in different accents. I think it's fascinating that we don't hear our own accent, or that we perceive ours as neutral, because I think I have a pretty non-regional, I grew up in South Texas. I think I have a pretty non-regional American accent. I don't think that I sound like I'm from Texas, but that's not abnormal at all. Like my grandparents on my mom's side had a super thick accent. The only word that jumps out that I've been told, I say 10, like the number 10, like 8, 9, 10, versus a tin can. That 10 and 10. Are you supposed to say those different? I don't know. I still don't fully hear it. There's 10 people on the bus. What I was told is that it's like 10, like 10, like there's more of a slight Southern or slight Texas accent. So I was curious, and 10 versus 10.
10.
10.
10.
Right. 10. Yes. And then this is TIN.
10. 10.
10. Dude, I still don't hear it.
10.
10,
10 and 10, dude. Again, I'm not hearing it, so I don't have the best. No, I can hear through a thick accent, a thick non-American accent, but my own accent, or for like pronunciation isn't my. I pronounce some stuff weird.
10,
10, like Steve Jobs. For a long time, I thought it was Steve Jobs. I thought it was Steve Jobs. I think I had only seen it written. I don't know why I thought that, but I thought it was Steve Jobs. It's got to be a tribal thing, that we can hear different accents and pick out how far is someone from. Obviously, if they speak a different language, but it's even within the U.S., there's probably 30 different accents that you could pick apart. Different pieces of like not even the country but the state. It's weird that I can't hear the 10 thing, but I'm sure because it was more than one person has noticed it before. And on that same note, I was watching a Bodkin, which was really good. I didn't realize that Irish was a language. And that's not even. I'm not even. I'm a little embarrassed on that one. I didn't know that Irish was a language. Because the Irish people that I see on TV, they're speaking English, and then there's like the rural Irish, if that's the word. I don't know the word, but like the really thick accent where it doesn't even sound like English. I thought that was this Irish. I didn't know that Irish was like a dedicated language, which I know it's embarrassing. I could blame the American school system, but I think that's just on me. I think I got to wear that one. But it's cool that we can't hear our own accent. We all just think that we're speaking correctly and saying 10 right, but not always the case. Moving to something that I predicted. I didn't predict the future, but maybe a little bit. A breaking update that we landed on the moon again.
An American spacecraft has reached the surface of the moon.
I'll skip to the part where I actually say it.
This is in preparation for NASA to send a crewed mission there in late 2026.
So what are we? I'm not saying to not go to the moon, but what are we doing up there? Like, are they putting a T-Mobile tower up? Is it going to be campgrounds? Like, what are we what's there? There it is. A T-Mobile tower, not quite, but sort of. This is from July of last year. NASA and Nokia Bell Labs to establish first 4G cellular network on moon. I didn't know that. I was just talking out of my ass. But March 2021. I don't know why I got this as like a recent update, because then everything I started looking up, like this blog is on the Nokia site from 2022. Nokia will be developing groundbreaking technologies by deploying LTE 4G communication systems on the lunar surface. So that's kind of what I had said. I mean, T-Mobile and Nokia, they're not. I don't know how connected they are, but that's kind of cool. It would have been cooler if it was stuff that had been announced not in 2022, and it was something where I actually kind of predicted the future, but I didn't know. So it was still genuine for me, which counts. That it gives me a whatever lunar network. So I think that it's so that we can. What are we going to live on the moon? Is that what we're going for? For any sustained human presence on the moon and Mars in the future, connectivity and communications are critical. So that would be cool to live on the moon. Once you're there though, right? You can't come back. You can't if you live there for more than a year, then that's it. You're up there forever. I mean, if they have, they'll have Wi-Fi, they'll have internet, so it'd be fine. That's it. I sort of predicted the. Oh, yeah, no, because these are old announcements. But I swear I didn't know when I said it. This is, the Gospel of Paul. This was something that I did not know existed. Never-ending underground fire of Centralia, Pennsylvania. So there's just fires that burn under the Earth's surface. There was something about these jellyfish, these eternal, immortal jellyfish that live forever. So maybe I'm just not very well read. I'm not going to watch.
In 1962, a few residents of Centralia, Pennsylvania.
I'm not going to watch the video. I already did watch the video, but some mining town, coal mining, and it's just been burning since the 60s, 80s, 70s. What did it say? I mean, I was just on the article. If only I could have read it. 1962, Centralia fire started. The leading theory is that burning trash, which we still burn trash too. That blows my mind. It's been burning since 1962. And so then I was looking it up because I thought that was a freakish thing. And apparently it's just normal. There's a bunch of fires all over the world that are just burning underground. No end in sight. I thought that there'd be some cool, because now, they keep calling it a ghost town, and allegedly it's the inspiration for Silent Hill, the video game, which I never played. I'm not that into. I could barely stand a horror movie, a horror game. No. And then there was a movie, Nothing But Trouble, which I haven't seen in years, 1991. But it was like, it's like I watched it as a kid, and then I've seen parts of it as an adult, and I'm like taken back. It's an odd. Yeah, there's some stuff that's not. I don't think it was a kid's movie. There's not like gore or anything, but it's just off in the worst kind of ways. That's Dan Aykroyd. I think that this movie had a burning. I think this was one of those towns where it's like everything was on fire, or there was a fire under the town. So again, this might be something that's extremely well known to a bunch of people, but I did not know that there are just burning towns out there, burning big chunks of land. I thought that there'd be something cool on Google Earth, like, it would look all scorched or something cool, but it looks normal. There's not anything really notable. I think you just can't build on it. But same thing. There's not really like a whole lot on Google Maps for it, but I thought it would look, let's get real. I thought it would look like Silent Hill. I thought it would look, this looks spooky, but only because there's fog. There's not really much. I couldn't find anything. Yeah, see this, I couldn't find anything too spooky. I guess maybe Google Maps doesn't drive through the parts that are super dangerous, which that would make a lot of sense. It says that Google, I like that Google in my mind is becoming a person. Google told me that there's at least 259 underground mine fires burned in more than a dozen states as of last September. That's 2022. But, this is AP News. Well, Google said it, so Google gets the credit. So these things are just all over. It seems really dangerous, but I guess not. I guess it's fine. Doesn't seem to be, if I didn't know that it existed, they can't be doing too much, but that's not true. That's not how that works. And then because I had already started going down the rabbit hole, was curious if there's more. And of course there are all over the world, but this one in Australia, it's Mount, this is a long read. Yeah, I'm not going to do that one. Mount Wingen in New South Wales, which I thought Wales was in England. I'm realizing as I talk through some of this stuff how little I know about non-American geography and American to some degree. But either way, I guess it makes sense because England colonized Australia, so it makes sense. I just didn't know that if you asked me where South Wales was before I looked this stuff up, I would guess the UK, which I now know is a thing. So something's come out of this. Thank God. Wingen, Australia. Yeah, this thing has been burning for 5,500 years, which is, it's mind-boggling to me. It looks cool. Looks mortifying. I think it usually looks like this. I think it's just like smoke. And like how hot is the ground? How close can you get to it? I didn't do a report. I didn't do like a full report on this stuff. It just came to my attention that there are parts of the earth that are just burning underground. Who knew? Probably a lot of people. I'm guessing a lot of people knew, but news to me, which that's important, right? Crazy. Mount Wingen in South Wales and Centralia, Pennsylvania, which does not look as spooky. It just looks, it's just empty. Cool. Moving to the last thing that's been on my radar, because I haven't done this in a couple weeks. This is April 11th that this came out, but I bookmarked it. Vietnamese property tycoon sentenced to death in $27 billion fraud case. One, they do death penalty for white collar stuff. I mean, if it's bad enough, right? Truong My Lan, she's guilty of embezzlement, bribery, and something else. So there's it's a lot to unpack. I mean, I watched a video on it, and that's what got me looking into it. But basically, she embezzled a bunch of money. You're supposed to only be able to own up to 5% of banks or any bank in Vietnam. This is Vietnam, right? Yeah, Vietnam. And this property tycoon set up, allegedly, because I mean, she got convicted, so I don't need to defend. I'm not defending her. It's just I know that I don't know. Allegedly, she's set up thousands of ghost companies and was paying bribes to government officials. So now she has thousands of these shell companies and had partial ownership through each of them, I'm guessing through shady loans. So she ended up owning like 97% of this SCB bank between 2012 and 2022. So it's bad because the loans were bad and shouldn't have been passed through, but she was able to, kind of will it through. I mean, she was bribing people to submit bad loans, and the total resulting losses. And here's what I didn't get: is it says total resulting losses in $27 billion, which is a figure equivalent to 6% of the country's GDP in 2023. That's nuts. When your crime is measurable in GDP, yeah, that's I've never heard of any sort of crime measured that way. I've seen some bank robberies, but not like that. This one says resulting in $27 billion loss, but then in the same article it says she was accused of fraud amounting to $12.5 billion, which is still, like the what's the crypto schmuck? Well, I mean, which one, right? The one with the NFT. Is it NFT, NXT? Sam Bankman-Fried. His was like 40 billion, right? I don't care for that guy. So she got sentenced to the death penalty. This was on April 11th that she was sentenced to death. Now that it's been long enough and I haven't revisited, I just had it like bookmarked on the shelf. I'm curious, did it happen? Is she gonna get actually sentenced to death? So now let's see. Sentenced to death. This is from the same article or from the same timeline. So So status is not dead. She's been sentenced but not dead. I'm not rooting for her to get killed. That's the law of the land over there. Then I guess fair is fair. But I was just curious if they're actually going to go through with it, or if it was something like, not performative, but something where they were just kind of trying to make an example of her. Yeah, sentenced to death by lethal injection. All other defendants were found guilty. Defendants. All right, so she's still alive. I guess that's good for her, because it's clearly good for her personally because she's not dead. But I mean, if there is any way for her to get out of it, then she'll not be dead. So that will help her. It's a twofold win for her to not be dead. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. Again, not rooting for her to get killed. I mean, if it was violent crime and she was just out chopping people up or doing awful stuff, then yes, I feel like the death penalty is correct. But I don't have any I don't have any political views. I'm neutral on everything. I'm Swedish. But yeah, it seems kind of gnarly, to be honest. Even though it's billions of dollars, lock her up, but sentenced to death. All right, Truong My Lan. I haven't seen a lot of coverage on it, so I thought maybe it slipped through the cracks, and here I am picking up the cracks. I don't know what I'm picking up. All right, I'm out of here. I got one last thing that I'm gonna go out on because I love it. The tiniest spoon in the world. I mean, yeah, that's a prank. That's a correct prank. I don't like the ones when they're just in people's space or doing awful stuff to mess with people. Yeah, just don't mess with people. I mean, they're messing with them a little bit. Or just a tiny spoon. She looks like Molly Shannon. I love that they don't actually give him a chance to even say anything or get upset. Like it was enough. It was enough. They were just glad to. They couldn't wait. Or they're just really nice people. They seem nice. Jaylee Bainton, says Mrs. Slugger. Also, intoxicating laughter is good. I've been working on my adjectives. I love it. All right. I'm going to go get a tiny spoon. They're harder to find than I thought. They didn't have them in Home Goods. I'll try IKEA maybe. Yeah, I got to go find a tiny spoon for unrelated stuff. I'm not going to do this. What? I am. Yes, I'm going to do that. What else would you do with a tiny spoon? I don't know. I have no idea. Okay. I got to go. What did I say? Smell you later. Smell you later forever.